What is up? What's going on? How you doing? So, I'm just going to try to do a short video, just a quick update as to what's going on with me. Um, I got a load going from uh, Springfield, Missouri down to Phoenix, Arizona for the purpose of getting a load coming out of the Los Angeles market. I want to get one of those really big, like $7,000+ loads coming out of Los Angeles. Um, and they're really sporadic. The load board is really, it's just all over the place. So I am prepared to set for, a couple of weeks if I have to wait on a really good load. And I'm basically going to treat it like it's, off time. Um, basically like time off. So I'm just hanging out in the truck, playing video games, watching TV, hanging out, just having a good time, and enjoying myself while I wait on a good load to pop up. Um, and that's all that's going on. I'm not interested in these. There's been two or three of these loads pop up on the load board, and I'm not interested in hauling these loads. These are going into Colorado. They're paying okay. Now these rates may look good if you're used to running in the Midwest or the East. These are decent load rates. I mean, if I saw a load paying $1,000 or $4,200 for 1,000 miles over in the Midwest or the East, I would be all over that load. But that's actually not paying very well for Fontana, especially going into Colorado, which is a really bad place to find loads. You're going to be dead hitting out probably 500+ miles to find a load out of Colorado. So you could easily tack on 5 to 800 miles onto that load. It's more like an 1,800-mile load because of all the dead hitting you're going to have to do. Um, but anyway, I'm hanging out here. I'm in Tonopah, Arizona. I was initially planning on sitting in Coachella, California, waiting on a load, but I decided to stay here in Tonopah because if I'm sitting here for 2 weeks, then I may have to get fuel more than once. And I don't want to have to get fuel in California. So I decided to just stay here in Tonopah. There has been quite a bit of drama with the support personnel at USA Truck, the brokers. So the brokers can see that I'm over here, and I'm not 100% sure what happened behind the scenes. I can only, guess, make assumptions. Um, But what happened was my driver manager hit me up like as soon as I got here to Tonopah. As soon as I parked the truck and I went into sleeper berth, um, within about 30 minutes of that, my driver manager messages me and like, "Hey, do you want us to have a broker find a load for you?" And I said no. And the reason I said no is because they've made that offer to me before, and they've told me that if I have them, find a load for me, that I'm just at the mercy of whatever in the hell they find. I don't have any say in the matter. If I, allow them to find a load for me, then they're just going to dispatch me like a company driver. So, I told them no because of that. And then within about 15 minutes, a load popped up on the load board. And I'm pretty sure that a broker messaged my driver manager and asked my driver manager if they could put a load onto me, and my driver manager reached out to me, and I told him no, so the broker put it on the load board instead, hoping I would take the load off of the load board. And that load sat there all day Tuesday, and I didn't take it. So Wednesday, a second load popped up on the load board, picking up out of this area, and both of those loads sat on the board all day Wednesday as well, and I didn't touch them. I got woke up Thursday morning to my driver manager messaging me, trying to get me to let a broker put a load on me. And she said this time that they're not going to force the load onto me. I would have say in the load, and they would just give me information on the load, and I could pick and choose whether or not I wanted the load. Well, I said sure. Feel free to send me information on loads. And then a few minutes later, I get a message, and it is it's that same fucking broker. Sorry about the language, but I'm getting really irritated with this broker. It's the same damn broker, I'm pretty sure. And he messages me and he says, "Hey, have you seen load number so and so?" So he's trying to get me to take that exact same load that they put on the load board on Tuesday, that I'm pretty sure is the same load that he tried to force onto me on Tuesday. So I think what happened was he tried to force the load onto me through my driver manager on Tuesday, and I said no, I wouldn't let him do that. And so then he put it on the load board hoping I would take it, and I didn't end up taking it. So then he started hitting up my driver manager again and trying to pressure her into getting me to take the load. And I told him no again. Well, after I told him no again, they finally took that load off of the load board. It disappeared off the load board after a couple of minutes. And then he also took the other load off of there a few minutes after that. Both of those loads disappeared within an hour of me saying no, I wasn't interested in those loads. And so that was basically Thursday. And then Friday, Friday morning, I got 2 messages and a phone call that woke me up this morning at like 8 a.m. And it was, again, brokers trying to pressure me into taking loads. This time, they were trying to get me to take loads that were like half price. They were trying to get me to take loads. You see this load right here? And there was another load on here that just disappeared that was going from Phoenix to Colorado. It was paying like there's been like 3 different loads going from Phoenix to Colorado paying $37 to $4,500 in that ballpark that have been posted in the last few days. Well, this jackass broker this morning sent me 2 load offers trying to get me to take loads from Phoenix to Denver, paying $2,100. And I told my driver manager, I'm done with these brokers. Don't hit me up with any more loads. Those loads are like half market price. I'm tired of dealing with this crap. I'll just sit and wait for something to get posted on the board. So that's where I'm at right now. Is I don't expect Fridays and Mondays are usually really bad days for loads. Tuesday, Wednesday are the best days for loads. And so I fully expect that I'm going to be waiting until at least Tuesday or Wednesday of next week before I get a good load. And I'm okay with that. Me sitting here hanging out in my truck is very similar to hanging out at home. The only thing that sucks is when I got to use the restroom that I have to walk over to the building to use the restroom. And in all honesty, it's not that far to the building. I'm parked in one of the closest spots to the building, so that's pretty awesome. So yeah, it's pretty damn convenient here. So I'm just gonna hang out here until I get a really good load. And the position that I'm in right now is I'm just trying to like support myself and add a little bit to my cash reserves throughout my final days at USA Truck. I've got a couple of months left here, and I'm just trying to, keep a decent cash flow and, just make it through these last couple of months. If I were on Landstar's load board, I wouldn't have to sit here and wait a week for a load. You go and look at any Landstar load board and have them pull up the Los Angeles market, and it's going to be full of $8,000 and $10,000 loads, just completely full of $8,000 to $10,000 loads. There's last time I looked at a load board video of them looking in the LA market, there were like they had to scroll down 2 or 3 pages to get loads that were paying less than $8,000. So yeah, I'm not going to have this issue once I get on on Landstar's load board. USA Truck is a good company if you can't get on with somebody better like Landstar, but they just the freight on USA Truck's load board is too sporadic. The good loads are too few and far between. It's just really hard on USA Truck's load board to run consistently, to have like consistent good weeks. And I'm not the type of person that's going to haul a cheap load and make somebody, some broker rich, or give some shipper receiver a really good deal on a load. I'm just not that kind of person. I will deadhead before I haul a cheap load. Um, I'm not going to haul something below market. I'm not going to do it. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to getting on with Landstar because I'm just really tired of dealing with USA Truck's load board. I've even been looking at loads in Northern California because to get up to Tracy, it's only about 600 miles. And there's just nothing that great. This load is most likely not going to get covered. That load's been sitting on the load board for about a week. It looks like a really good load, but it is not a really good load. It's going up into Pennsylvania, and it's not really paying that great. Why would somebody haul this out of Northern California for $7,800, $8,000 when they can go to, this is in Northern California. If this load was posted in Southern California, it would be paying a couple $1,000s more. So why not just dip down into Southern California, 400 miles, and make a couple thousand more dollars on a load? There was a load on here going to Lakeland, Florida, that was paying $8,500 plus fuel surcharge, so probably around $9,000. But it didn't pick up until the 16th, and I was like, you know what? That's so far away. Nobody's probably going to grab that load. So I have plenty of time between now and then to just see what else is posted on the load board. And that load disappeared off the load board within a couple of hours. I can't believe somebody jumped all over a Lakeland, Florida load. Just a second. Sorry, had to spit. Loads going into Kingman, Arizona area. This is a decent rate, but it's a liquor load. Almost everything coming out of Bardstown is liquor. So it's going to be a heavy liquor load. Yeah, none of these loads are very good. I mean, they're not terrible. None of them are like unicorn loads. But yeah, I don't expect there to be any decent loads posted on Friday, so I'm set up to just hang out for the weekend. Gonna play video games. Do I have this thing? Let me. What do we got here? Game capture. Let's edit that. Oh, wow. The game capture actually works. That's pretty sweet. But yeah, that's World of Warcraft. Just sitting around doing PvP, killing stuff. Trying to get my PvP rank up. And that's what I'm sitting here doing at the truck stop. Just hanging out. I'm thinking about going in the truck stop and grabbing something to eat. I don't know. I got a bunch of stuff in the truck. I should probably eat the stuff I have in the truck rather than eat out of the truck stop. Let's go back to browser. But yeah, that's what's going on with me is I'm just hanging out here. Let me do a search for Fontana, California. Kingman, Arizona should be pulling up pretty much the entire LA market. Yeah, it is. Another load that I've been thinking about hauling. So I'm basically just sitting here waiting on some like massive load, a huge load, or another thing that I'm waiting on is a St. George, Utah load. St. George, Utah is just northeast of Vegas, and my buddy Percy lives in Vegas. And I told him that if I get that St. George, Utah load, that I'm going to drive and up there deliver that load, and then on the way back to LA, I'll probably just stop and hang out in Vegas, and I'll just go to a truck stop in Vegas and hang out there exactly like I'm hanging out here in Tonopah. Just hang out in Vegas and wait on a load. Um, if a St. George, Utah load pops up before a really good load pops up. And Percy is, I don't know, I'm probably going to run into Percy here pretty soon because he said that he's probably going to be applying to Crete, and he's planning on driving up to apply to Crete probably around Tuesday of next week. And I might still be here in Tonopah Tuesday of next week. But for some reason, instead of doing an online application at Crete, he wants to actually drive to Crete in Phoenix from Vegas and like talk to them in person, like do an application in person. I don't know why in the hell he would do that, but he said that he's old school. That's a pretty damn long drive from Vegas to Phoenix. But that's what he said that he wants to do is drive down there and do an in-person application. I'm like, I mean, I don't. They're probably gonna be confused whenever you walk up there and ask for a paper application. They probably don't do that anymore. But we'll see if he does that, or if he's still in Vegas next week. But if he comes down here to Phoenix to put in an app and he gets hired onto Crete and he starts training at Crete and everything, then I'll probably get to see him then. Or if I get a St. George, Utah load, I'll probably get to see him then. But anyway, that's what's going on with me. I don't want this video to get too terribly long because if the file size gets too big, I won't bother uploading it. But yeah, that's what's going on. Just sitting here hanging out, refreshing the load board, waiting for them to put on a really amazing load. I came over here to sit and wait for an amazing load. And that's what I'm doing, is just sitting and waiting for an amazing load to get posted. But anyway, thanks for watching. Have a good one. Bye.